Kier Starmer appears poised to defy Donald Trump on the future of the Chagos Islands, as Downing Street signals the Prime Minister's determination to finalize a deal with Mauritius despite strong opposition from Washington. A Number 10 spokesman has suggested that Starmer is pressing ahead with negotiations to hand over sovereignty of the Indian Ocean archipelago to Mauritius, a move that has sparked security concerns within Trump's inner circle. In today's video, we will discuss this in full detail whilst going over the latest headlines from across the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Allies of the 47th president fear that transferring control of the islands could have significant geopolitical ramifications, particularly given the growing influence of China and Iran in the region. The Chagos Islands, home to the strategically vital UK-US military base on Diego Garcia, serve as a crucial hub for Western military operations in the Indian Ocean. Washington insiders warned that ceding the territory to Mauritius could provide Beijing and Tehran with an opportunity to extend their reach in the region, potentially undermining U.S. and allied security interests. Despite these concerns, Starmer appears undeterred while negotiations had been delayed until after Trump's inauguration. The British Prime Minister now seems intent on moving forward with an agreement. Following a conversation between Starmer and Mauritian Prime Minister Navin Ghulam this afternoon, a Downing Street spokesman reiterated the UK's commitment to securing a deal. The spokesman stated, "The leaders began by reflecting on their first months in office and discussed the strong relationship between the UK and Mauritius, which they looked forward to expanding." The Prime Minister underlined the need for a deal to secure the military base on Diego Garcia that ensures strong protections, including from malign influence, and that will allow the base to continue to operate. Both leaders reiterate their commitment to a deal, and they looked forward to speaking again soon. The timing of Starmer's renewed push is significant, coming just weeks after Mauritius hinted that it had won further concessions from Britain in negotiations over the Chagos Islands. Speaking in Port Louis on January 14th, Mauritian Attorney General Gavin Glover suggested that discussions in London had yielded promising results, stating, "We had a productive meeting in London and have not come empty-handed from London." Reports indicate that one of those potential concessions could involve a hefty financial commitment from Britain. Starmer's government is believed to be considering an annual payment of $90 million to retain access to the Diego Garcia military base, a sum that would amount to £9 billion over the proposed 100-year lease period. Mauritian Prime Minister Ghulam has reportedly pushed for a more lucrative arrangement, arguing that the initial draft deal would not produce the benefits that the nation could expect. His government is believed to be seeking increased financial compensation and guarantees of economic benefits as part of the sovereignty transfer agreement. Trump allies raised security alarms despite Starmer's assurances that the agreement would safeguard UK and US interests. The wording of the Downing Street statement has done little to quell concerns in Washington. Notably, the statement's reference to malign influence appears to echo warnings from Trump's administration regarding China's growing presence in the Indian Ocean. In a pointed statement following a call with UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy, Trump's Secretary of State Marco Rubio explicitly criticized the deal, warning of its potential consequences. The former Florida senator stated, "This agreement is concerning, as it would provide an opportunity for Communist China to gain valuable intelligence on our naval support facility in Mauritius. This poses a serious threat to our national security interests in the Indian Ocean and threatens critical U.S. military posture in the region." While official readouts from the U.S. and UK did not directly reference the Chagos Islands, the U.S. version of the call did explicitly highlight concerns over China's malign activities, reinforcing fears that Beijing could exploit the handover to advance its strategic goals. With Starmer pressing ahead and Trump's allies sounding the alarm, the fate of the Chagos Islands is shaping up to be a major transatlantic flashpoint, one that could strain relations between London and Washington. As Trump returns to the White House, in other news, tens of thousands are expected to attend the parade in London, demanding Tommy Robinson's release, an end to his solitary confinement. We will take a look at the scenes ahead of the march as thousands gather at Water Station. The early scenes are fantastic and a sight of more of what is going to be coming today. In other news, Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe has claimed that the Populist Party is the last chance Britain has got of obtaining a sensible government following leader Nigel Farage's defined address in Essex. Speaking to supporters in northwest Essex, the constituency held by Conservative leader Kami Badenoch, Farage claimed that Reform UK is the party of family, community, and country. In a pointed attack at the Tories, Farage made clear that choosing Badenoch's constituency was not a coincidence and pledged to drive up member numbers in the area. He added, "We now, in this constituency alone, have 490 paid-up members and 460 registered supporters. I think we can build on these numbers." Hailing Reform, UK's success in the polls, Farage told supporters that there is momentum behind the party and there is optimism and energy behind the party's cause. Speaking to the media, Lowe argued that Reform UK continues to make strides against the uni party of Labour and the Tories, and they have let down Britons time and time again. Lowe explained, "Reform is the last chance Britain's got of getting some sensible government, and the Tories and Labour, the uni party as I call them, the Reds and the Blues, they've let us all down very badly. So it doesn't matter whether it started really after Maggie Thatcher, John Major discount as a sort of an irrelevance. Really, he should never have won his election. But Tony Blair did a lot of damage to Britain with Derek, Irvin Campbell, Mandon, and Brown, highlighting the tenure of David Cameron and reflecting on Brexit on its 5th anniversary. Lowe claimed that the former Prime Minister has blood on his hands. Lowe continued, "They embedded all sorts of horrific laws like the Human Rights Act and the Equalities Act. They started immigration. They weren't responsible for all of it, but they started the legal apparatus for it. And then in the coalition, David Cameron's got a lot of blood on his hands. And ultimately, the electorate, who government should be representing the taxpayers, the people who fund the country, the people who work hard, who pay their taxes. Very often, the businesses collect all the taxes for the government, so they are not doing their job. Hailing the work of Reform UK, Lowe cited their representation of the people in Parliament as one of the reasons why they are performing so well. He said that's why Reform is doing so well, because people want representation in Parliament. They want a government that looks after their interests, not interests of people who come here, either legally or illegally, who've never paid into the economy, never contributed to our wealth. We need change, and we're going to engineer it. Hitting out at the growing migrant crisis facing Britain. 5 years on from Brexit, Farage told the press conference, 130,000 young men crossing the English Channel in Dingu, net migration going up in 2023 to 1 million a year. There are so many people out there who feel literally betrayed. But my message to them is this. They weren't betrayed by Brexit. They were betrayed by a conservative government elected on the back of Brexit with considerable help from myself, who never ever believed in it in the first place, who never really intended to deliver lower numbers coming into our country, and who thought they could get away with it. Well, folks, I'm back, and they won't get away with it. And frankly, they should never be forgiven for what they've done. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below if you've not yet already. Make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content.